Thanks, Tiffany. I'm on set now with Commissioner Bob Weatherford. Commissioner, newly elected, how have the first 60 days in office treated you?
Oh man, it's drinking from a fire hose. It's been kind of busy.
Now, when you first got in office, did you have some expectations of what it would be like, and how does that compare to what it actually was like?
Well, as you know, I've had some experience as a city councilman for 12 years, but the processes are kind of the same, but the quantity is different.
Gotcha. Well, now, having served up in Ackworth as a city council member, certainly the processes, I'm sure, have been fairly similar.
Correct.
Tell me, how does your style, the way you handle things at the city, carried over to here at the county?
I'm just as fun-loving as I was up there, apparently.
Was that your reputation up there, fun-loving and getting it done?
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
So what compelled you to run for county commissioner when you look back at the campaign trail? I mean, that was long and hard fought.
It was a very long year. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done. You know, started out with, you know, 5 opponents and then finished with 1, and it was a whole year. I guess I really didn't anticipate the length nor the effort that it would take, but I'm glad I did it and very happy to be here.
Do you think by having all the primaries and then the runoff, in all the interaction you had with the public going forward in that race, did that make you better qualified, do you think, to take this job than if you had, say, just run against one person or had been unopposed and stepped into office?
No, I think it helped me get the lay of the county, especially my district. It's a huge district. You know, the city of Ackworth is about 30,000 people, and my district is 180,000 people. So quite a bit more responsibilities, more territory, but it was very enjoyable. I got to meet a lot of people. Win, lose, or draw, it was worth the effort.
Good. When you look at when somebody looks at the county, the way the commission districts are drawn out, you know, District 1 certainly is a large district, right, but it's very diverse. It's very different in different parts. For example, in Ackworth and Kennesaw, where I'm at, a little more density, different types of services. And you got to West Cobb, I mean, you're literally still running by some pastures out there. How do you communicate with both sides or all sides of that community?
That's probably one of the most difficult things I'm trying to adjust to, because I'm used to the for better lack, Highway 41 corridor instead of the Dallas Highway corridor.
Right.
And, you know, I represent the cities of Ackworth, Kennesaw, and half of Marietta, as well as West Cobb. So you have different needs, different wants, different priorities in each of those districts, and you have to treat them as such. I know in Ackworth we had 3 different districts. We had the 75 district, the downtown, and we had the 41 district, and each 3 of those were treated differently because there were different needs and different zoning requirements, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't see the parallel is the same. West Cobb, they have different things they want. They, you know, my job is to help keep the look and feel of West Cobb, and if you get down the Highway 41 corridor, then to give them what they want, which are you know, some more possibly density in some areas where it's necessary.
Well, that's an amazing thing, having watched the Upper 41 corridor and all the things that the city of Ackworth had done with that. I mean, at one time it was kind of a pretty rough-looking flea market and some vacant
Correct.
land, and now it literally is. When we roll out of church on Sunday, that's where we go eat, up that corridor. I mean, everybody goes up there. What was the thought there, and do you see that happening in more places around your district?
Well, what it was a planned out process, and it was in conjunction with the county back then when we did the first successful TAD, the tax allocation district, where the flea market was, where the super target is. And that was a catalyst, that was a halo effect, similar to what we expect and are getting from the Braves, for example. People want to be near where things are happening, and that's what happened in the north part of 41 in Ackworth area, as we were successful with that old flea market, now multi-million-dollar shopping mega, if you will, and now everybody wants to be around it. And the benefit to that for the retailers is they don't have to do any studies. They know if Home Depot's there, then Lowe's can be there. If Target's there, there can be a Walmart there.
Right.
So the studies have already been done, so they want to be where they are. So the issues there is controlling the traffic and making sure that quality of life remains the same.
Tell me a little bit about your background before you got into politics, become a city councilman and then a county commissioner. What'd you do, and how does that aid you in your job today?
Well, I have kind of a diverse background in that I was in police work, but it was most of the time it was reserve officer. I volunteered, and I did several years full-time there in Ackworth, and previous to that in Cherokee County. But my background is primarily in high tech and large data centers, mainframes, and that kind of thing. So I bring kind of diversity. I understand law enforcement side, and I also understand business side, and I understand technology. So I can talk one way or the other depending on who my audience is. but my love has always been law enforcement and public safety, and I did that for most of 25 years. So.
But anytime I've either represented the county or had any of our elected officials talk about the services we provide, they always place the #1 priority on public safety services. Certainly with your background, I anticipate that's going to come forward. What other things are you hearing from your district, from the population that they're concerned about? Are there any projects you're working on now or anything you're particularly focused on?
Well, certainly, Robert, public safety is #1, and it's the primary function of any government, I think, to protect the public. And we want to make sure that our public safety in Cobb is second to none. And I'm working actively on that with the new SPLOST, certainly helped all of that. What we're doing is experiencing an explosion of growth. There's lots of people that are building again, a lot of retail, a lot of especially senior living, residential senior living is the big rage these days. And I know I have at least 3 or 4 in my district that are coming forward. 55 and older, age restricted, less impact. They get a little bit more density because of that, but the impact actually works out if you look at traffic studies and you look at travel times and all that. It's less impact than a subdivision that had, larger homes and six cars, for example.
Well, in senior housing, I think, in my opinion, provides a unique challenge for the community. I know when a project started to come up in East Cobb, a lot of the people I saw there, I grew up, went to Walton High School way back when, were parents of my friends who have said, listen, we've been in this community, we're in our 70s now, we want to stay in the community. We don't have to move to Dunwoody or someplace else. We want to stay in the same area. So I can see the appeal there, and then I hear other folks, and certainly some news reporters I've spoken to recently say, hey, there's a lot of folks opposed to the amount of density and things they're bringing along into the area. From a commissioner's perspective, certainly you can't be biased when you sit up there in judgment of this. How do you approach it? How do you keep an open mind to all sides of it?
I think we're unique in Cobb in that what you just said was very intuitive, in that people don't want to leave Cobb. If you go to Florida or other places, those are destination retirement homes. Cobb is, I've lived in Cobb all my life. I love Cobb, but I'm tired of stairs, or I'm tired of maintaining my yard. I'm tired of all of this, so I want to move in Cobb. So Cobb, last facts I saw were about 60% of everybody buying senior living are from within Cobb.
That makes sense.
So they're moving from one area in Cobb and either downsizing or getting a better lifestyle when they get older. And most people, it's their last home. They're buying their last home. So they're very particular. It's not like you and I, when we started out, what's a house? Let's build this and this. These people know exactly what they want, and so they're pretty much more particular about what they build. And the density is there. That's part of what RSL, the senior living facility, residential senior living, but the impact is less. And so people look at the density, they don't look at the actual impact.
Right, no kids going into the schools out of that, not commuting to and from work. And
2 cars, they don't go at 8 o'clock, they might go later. And the people that are 55 and older, they want a sense of community. They want to sit on their porch and talk to someone that knows what the Beatles are, for example, and they like to do that, where in the active lifestyle and the world we live in today, people don't have time to do that.
Well, that's one thing I think that you definitely have kicked off quickly, is being a communicator and talking with people. Town hall meetings, you didn't hold back. A lot of folks wait a little while before they do that. What drove you to do it, and why do you have them?
Well, kind of did it in conjunction with the chairman, and I plan to have one in April as well. I think it's very important that you get out and meet and let people talk, let people get their questions out. I know we solved one at the town hall meeting the other night about the GPS that no one could find in North Cobb Senior Center. Who knew that till we were there that night, right?
Until half the people showed up.
By the way, that's been corrected. So
super.
So we got that corrected, and that's been done. So if you punch it in, it'll take you right to that area instead of where was it, Bartow, that someone said it was sent them?
All the way up 41, yeah, they got to cross the county line.
But I think I want to be known as someone that'll listen to you, that'll talk to you, and give you the respect you deserve, and make sure that everybody's vocal points of view are heard. So.
Very good. Now, certainly you send out a newsletter every Friday to your constituents, let them know what's happening there. If somebody wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way? Call Miss Woody? Are you an email guy, a telephone guy? How do they do it?
Well, originally, what's kind of interesting, I was first started responding to every email. That
explains the bandage's thumbs.
That ended pretty quickly because of this quantity of those. So what I do is I put a folder in of people that are talking about certain things, and then my assistant or my planning and zoning person will try to get back to you. But just wanted everybody to know that we're actually reading everything. It's just that we don't get a time to respond to all them. But at the end, there is a newsletter that we put out every Friday that keeps you up with some of the things that people ask about, which are traffic and road projects and SPLOST projects and things like that. It also tells about the upcoming meetings and zoning hearings and stuff. So in a county this size, certainly a district my size, it's kind of difficult to be as personalized as I want to be, but that's not for lack of trying, I think. So.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate what you do. Welcome aboard. We'll get you back on the show here about midway through summertime and see if you still have this optimistic outlook and you're ready to rumble.
Good. Thank you, Robert.
All right.
Appreciate
thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Tiffany, back to you.